Every story has two sides. But what happens when one side is rewritten? Again and again, until truth itself begins to vanish. This isn't just a story about manipulation. It's about recovery, reflection, and the anatomy of deception. A look inside the mind of a narcissist and the heart that survived it. You're listening to Diary of a Narcissist, where truth finds its voice again.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Diary of a Narcissist. I'm Lizeth, and I'm here, as always, joined by my co-host, Jason.
Hello.
Today, we want to have a conversation about whether or not your person was a narcissist or not. You know, some people are confused, and we're getting some messages, people asking us, hey, this happened. Well, I've been getting messages from people saying, he didn't yell, he didn't cheat, he didn't even fight. He just shut down emotionally. Is that narcissistic? Is that emotional abuse? Or is it something else? It's confusing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because emotional shutdown feels like rejection. It feels cold. But sometimes it's not meant to hurt you. Sometimes it's just trauma response, not narcissistic one. What do you think, Jason, on your experience, when you used to pull away, if you did that, was it to punish or was it something else?
Pull away. When you mean, explain to me what you mean by pull away.
Like emotionally.
Yeah, like the ego. Yeah, that's funny. Oh my God. The ego, again, when you pull away, it's she'll learn. I'll teach her. Like, she's going to be hurting from this. Like, she's going to pay. Like, she's going to feel bad. She's going to hate leaving me. She ain't going to find anybody like me.
Is that what you thought?
Yeah, that would pop in my head because I genuinely thought that I was a good spouse. I thought they're not going to find anybody as good as me. I'm good to her.
Right.
But in the meantime, as I'm thinking that, I'm trying to get her back.
So in your case, it was kind of like to punish that person for...
For me, it was. Yeah, for me, it was.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, yes, I feel like they're going to, I need to teach them a lesson. I'm not going to teach them a lesson. I'm not going to talk to them. But it didn't last long. Yeah.
I can hear that sound, by the way.
There?
The narcissistic fan.
I think it in my, oh, really? You hear that?
Yes.
Let me get it.
That's better.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. That's better.
There we go. There we
So
go.
yeah, some people who are hurt on, you know, the phrase goes, yeah, hurt people hurt others, but
Yeah.
it's not always the case. You know, some people are not in it for that. Some people are just also clueless as to why they feel the way they do and why they act the way they do, why they pull away, why they withdraw emotionally. And I think it's important to make that distinction because narcissistic withdrawal is usually meant to punish. It has intention. But trauma withdrawal is protection. It's fear, shame, emotional collapse. And when someone shuts down emotionally, the person on the receiving end doesn't know which one it is. I was confused. I felt abandoned, you know, and maybe they just think if you love me, you wouldn't disappear, right? You wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah. I love throwing that around.
Yeah.
Love throwing that.
Well, like the person on the receiving end, you know, like when you have those episodes of emotional shutdown and punishment and the cold shoulder. I mean, it's charged with manipulation. I think, you know.
It's manipulation and you try to gain back control at the same time. You know, you're trying to see where it's like a dog when a dog tests you. When he keeps going, we want to test, or not we. I'm not saying we, because I'm not narcissistic. Even me, I'm guilty of doing that to see how far I could push it. How far can I push you until you forget, and then forgive me. You need to forgive me.
Right, and that was the thing. The post we made about red flags, and obviously they don't all come at once. We were talking about how the narcissist would push just little bit and little bit just to see how much you're willing to tolerate. How much are you willing to take in that relationship just to feel seen, just to feel loved?
It's like, on the other end, it's like to the victim, it's like exercising her, disciplining her to take more. so you can act out more.
Right.
That's the truth. Yeah, it's because I know when like I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm taking you back, or this ain't gonna happen again. I'm out the door if it happen again. In the back of her head, we know you ain't going nowhere. So I'm gonna play it off. I'm gonna keep my cool, and I'm not gonna do it on purpose. But I know if I slip up again, I know I'm good. I just gotta try to go out as long as I can without acting out. Because I
Yeah.
know when I have you, you're not going nowhere. That's an unhealthy relationship, by the way. I'm not speaking
Yeah.
about a relationship that's healthy, and neither of us are happy. She's not happy. I'm not happy. We're just settling for a shitty lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's
I was I
so,
was
it's
I was
just,
listening to these podcasts. I forgot who was it by, but they were throwing some numbers out there about the staggering amount of percentage of women and men who are unhappy in their relationships, and they say nothing. Nothing.
I'm going to tell you something. We were talking about this yesterday. Me and Heather were, I think it was last night or night before, we were having dinner. And you hear it online, you hear it all the time. Everybody already talks about it. But when you actually sit and talk about it, it shows how technology, it's just technology. That's what I feel. That's my opinion. I mean, looking at back before the 90s, there was a lot of successful relationships, a lot of long-term marriages. It's this online, the girls, the boys, the dating apps, temptation, the temptation. These are all the devil's toys, the devil's
Yeah.
tools. Technology is the devil's tool. It really is. But sometimes we abuse it. For me, I know I did. So I don't, I don't today. I have no apps on my phone. I see things on TikTok or something. I look and then I scroll. But I do, and then I scroll. And then sometimes I'm like, I do watch it. And I catch myself. I'm like, but I catch myself, you know what I mean? And it is. These are devil's tools. It's
Well, me
funny that
too.
it's funny you say that, because why else would there's so much destruction in relationships. Like if I'm in a decent relationship now and someone's sending her, I'm going to say a dick pic or a pic, because she gets messages all the time.
Really?
I get them sometimes. And I just scroll. I ignore them. I know they're bullshit. I just ignore them. And she doesn't even read them. That didn't happen 30 years ago. There was no distractions. So your eyes are only on your spouse, not 3,000 viewers online distracting you.
Yeah.
No, it's a distraction.
Well, that's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, I get distracted too. I'm not gonna lie. I scroll. I go there and post something, and then I end up looking at 50,000 reels of different things.
Yeah.
I It's addicting for sure. I love the funny stuff. So
Yes.
I send you a bunch of things all the time.
Yeah. The
Funny,
funny
funny,
stuff.
funny things. I love laughing. I try to avoid depressing stuff, negative stuff. My feed is
Yeah.
full of uh inspirational quotes and funny things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, but it's true. It's the comparison. You see the perfect relationship out there on social media, and you think, well, why can I have that? If my spouse was a little more like that, or if he was like that, or she was
You
like
just said
that,
it. Yeah.
then we could be happier. I mean, look how happy these people are, not realizing that all of that is perfectly curated.
Yeah.
I do that too. I'm a single mother of 4 children. Life isn't perfect all the time.
Yeah.
And am I going to post the meltdowns? Am I going to post the arguments, the hard moments where I feel like I'm failing as a mother? No, nobody wants to see that. And that's also another thing. People, we're so conditioned to only want to see the nice things.
Yeah.
You want to see people feeling happy and good, and that's okay. But the reality is that we go through those ups and downs. We have good moments, bad moments, moments where we feel like crap, or we feel like
Yeah.
we don't know what we're doing. Half of the time, I don't know what I'm doing. you
I
know,
know.
as long as you keep showing up and doing the best you can, and if you make a mistake, repair it. With your kids, with your spouse. I think that's what's about it.
Yeah, immediately. I agree. I slip up all the time, and I apologize to God all the time. I do apologize all the time, especially with the F word, little things like that. And honestly, but like you said, with social media, I get caught liking stuff or looking at something.
Yeah,
And Heather walks by and sees it. She thinks I need her to look like that. I don't need her to look like that. It's just, we like to look at stuff and it just pops up on your screen. And like
right.
me, I like funny stuff. I like the pets, the dogs. I like The dogs, big dogs, small dogs barking at each other. There's some funny ones I seen the other day. And all this stuff, I like all comical stuff. I like dancing videos. Sometimes they're really sexy, and I'm just like, so I catch myself. But those are distractions for sure. And that's
Hey,
what's
it's
really
there.
hurt. Yeah.
It's at our fingertips,
There's nothing
right?
we can do about it. Yep.
Yeah. We just have, like you said, just no, catch yourself. Yes.
Try.
And that's the thing, sometimes, going back to the subject of emotional withdrawal, is it
Yeah.
narcissism or is it just protection from personal trauma? It's not that they don't care. Sometimes I feel like they just don't feel too much, They don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to
I
do
don't think
with
so.
if you're with someone who is so caring and so loving and touchy, I'm like that. I'm always hugging. And some people don't like that, don't know what to do with that. And the person on the receiving end, again, might feel like, what's going on? This person does not want love, does not want my love, because they don't know what to do with it. But I think narcissism hides from being accountable. Trauma survivors hide from the emotion,
Yeah.
but the narcissist hide from being accountable for whatever it is that they do.
See, you hit a nerve when you said, honestly, only recently, and I'm talking recently, like May of this year, I've learned how to receive love. I didn't know that I know how to. I didn't like being touched. I didn't like holding hands. It made me feel awkward. And I know a lot of that's from my father, the abuse from him. But getting older and being in relationships is, there was women I was with in the past, and they would like to cuddle and kiss. And I'm like,
Eek.
I'm not like that now, though, thank God. But I don't know why. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I'm not icy. Am I gay? What's wrong with me? I'm like, do I like dudes? Like, why don't I like touching, where women touching me? I like touching them. I'll grub them
Right.
all night.
Right.
But I didn't like being touched. That, I did a lot of therapy, lots of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of God, lots of Jesus, lots of healing, lots of programs, lots of giving, lots of helping, lots of not being self-centered, Jason, not thinking about me. And when you keep doing things that are acting out of yourself, doing for other people, helping other people, giving to other people, praying in the morning, getting out of my head real quick, because as soon as I get up in the morning, if I don't pray, I start thinking about what I need to do for me. What's my schedule today? As soon as I get up in the morning, my prayer is the same. First couple verses. Thank you for waking me this morning, happy, healthy, and sober. Thank you for dying on the cross for my sins. How can I serve you today to be more like you and less like me? Boom. It just comes out like that. And then I go right into my prayer, whatever's going on in my head. And then there's always something. He always has something for me.
Yeah.
And I don't run to it like, yeah, I can't wait to help somebody. Yeah, I'm coming my way. Or, yeah, I'm coming on my way. Well, what the fuck? But I do it. Because I know he wants me to, and he knows my heart. I have some sponsees that ask me, they're like, but I don't like helping people, and he knows that. How does he still bless you when he knows you don't want to do it? Because you're still moving your feet. You're still showing the action. For me, that shows how much of a relationship, that's like, it's showing him how much more you want to be closer to him when you're doing something you don't want to do. Like when you're in a relationship with a woman, he thinks, I don't want to do some of the stuff she wants to do, but I do it because I love her and it makes her happy. So when I do stuff for him, it makes him happy. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do shit. I want to go to the gym. I want to come home, eat, I want to lay down, and I want to watch TV. That's it. That's it. That's what I want to do every day.
That's the life, man. That's the life.
it.
And in your work in therapy, if you don't mind sharing, did you find out the root of that avoidance?
You know what? A lot of my narcissistic traits and my manipulation, my abuse, my verbal abuse, verbal assassin. I should not exaggerating. I should not have been left out on the streets as a kid. If I have friends that are watching me on here now and they're like, he ain't lying. From the age of 9 till I was 25, I probably should have been locked up. There wasn't any, there was not, and if I was in that area, something was getting stolen. Something was getting broken into. Somebody was getting robbed. Somebody was going to get hurt. Somebody was going to get told off. Somebody was going to get in a fight. And that's from my father. Growing up in a house of abuse, of watching the things he did, I can't speak on here, to me, to my family, to my brothers, my siblings, my mother. And when he did that to neighbors, like it was just nonstop. It was chaos all the time. I hid in my bedroom all day long. I just sat in my room. So going to school scared, and then when it's just crazy because when I look back, I know I acted out because I was a prisoner until I was about 7 or 8 years old when he finally went to jail. And then all of a sudden, now, I wasn't allowed to play with toys or pretty much didn't eat that much. He barely fed us, so when I had that freedom, it's like eat what I want, do what I want, take what I want because we were poor. Now, that's okay. I'm not saying all poor people do that. I did it because we were broke. So I wanted something, I took it. If I saw a bike, I took it. If I saw a dirt bike, I took it. I saw a golf cart, I took it. And then growing up doing that, and every time I got caught, it was a slap on the wrist. There was no consequences, none.
Right.
Um, I went to jail a few times, and I always thought everybody was out to get me. So I learned a lot in recovery. I learned a lot in church programs, being mentored one-on-one with the pastor. And I still do. I still go to men's groups. I still do one-on-one with pastors. I still go to church, still follow. I still pray. And I give it back to the men who are like me that need help to strive to get to where I am even more, So
Mhm.
that's just where I am right now. But yeah, it all rooted from my father for sure. Absolutely. I learned all his traits, all those traits I've learned as a teenager and a kid were from him, not knowing any better. So when I see those people out there now acting out, it's not funny, but it's fun. Like, I don't mean it's funny, like, it's funny because when I see it, I relate and I know. And I'm like, you don't know
Yeah.
you don't know what happened to him as a kid.
You
But doesn't
understand
it,
it. Yeah.
but I do, I understand it, but I don't excuse it because he's a grown ass man.
Right.
When I
Right.
was early 20s, I knew I needed to change. I just didn't know how.
Right.
I hated who I was. I didn't embrace it.
Wow.
So
That's honestly what Stevie said the other day, that you are a miracle. I agree. I mean, the more I learn about your childhood experience, the more I realize how strong you are. I don't know that I would have survived that stuff. I went through difficult things, so don't get me wrong. But that's just horrible, Jason. That's just horrible stuff. I'm so sorry.
it's crazy too because people going to school, nobody knew. You go to school, and this is what I mean. This is why I get. This is funny. I get why people go crazy when they were raised like I was, and then you got to go to school and get bullied, and then picked on, and made fun of, and called all these names, and belittled like
Mm.
every day, every single day.
Right.
And my God, that's what, I I know that I'm a miracle, and I don't know how I got through it, and I don't know, and I know I do know it's God. I know getting to where I am today, it's all because of Jesus Christ. I know it is. I know it's all because of God, the Lord, my Lord and Savior, and the Holy Spirit, because I feel it today,
That's
and
an important thing.
it really is because I see those kids out there struggling, those men, and I'm like, if they just dug deeper to want to be better, reached out for help. Because I reached out for help only because of a girl that I still liked. And I can't say her name, but she saved my life. She doesn't know it. I truly believed that she's the one of the many that say she's in the group of people that saved me from dying by reaching out to me and getting me into Alcoholics Anonymous. Because getting in Alcoholics Anonymous probably saved my life.
Wow, Jason.
That was step one. That was baby steps.
Right. But that's so important though, that you just mentioned how nobody knew at school. Nobody you see kids act out, you see people kids rebelling, kids being defiant and all those things. You never wonder, maybe there's something going on at their home. Maybe
Yeah.
we should strive to understand the root of it, because kids are not just like that. I think all children by nature are loving, are kind. We learn all these bad things. We learn
Yeah.
how to be mean to others. We learn how to be uncaring and unkind, So that's interesting. It's true. It's very true. I mean, all these school shootings, all these things that had happened, could they have been prevented if
What
someone
happened?
paid
Oh,
more
yeah, what goes
attention?
on at home? Yeah.
What
What
goes on
goes
at
on at
home?
home? Because
Yeah.
yeah. It's
If
a touchy
someone
subject.
Oh, it is. It is. Well, if someone listening right now though, and is going through the situation where they're experiencing their partner being cold, and they're not trying to hurt them, they're just feeling overwhelmed, what would you want them to understand?
If wait, just repeat that. I'm sorry.
So let's say I was in a relationship right now, and I'm experiencing my husband or boyfriend withdrawing constantly, not being there emotionally for me. What would you want them to understand?
I mean, that's tough too, because does she want to, or he want to keep putting up with that? You know, what I would do if I was the victim, I'd be like, I'd sit down, because I had people sit down with me, but I don't want to hear it. That's the difference. There was nothing wrong with me. There was always something wrong with you. And you know what? I knew there was something wrong with me. I just didn't want to hear it. For me, for them to, I would tell them, if they don't want to change, leave. I would leave, because they're going to drag you down too. Misery loves
Right.
company. I'm not saying he loves the company or she loves company, but you're going to get dragged right down into it too, because that
But
person's going to need help.
right, but what if the person is not narcissistic and it's just traumatized by something and it's afraid to love and receive love, like you
I would
were?
sit, yeah, like I would sit down with him and try to talk to him about it. He's probably going to be uncomfortable, or she's going to be uncomfortable, probably stubborn about it, because your entire life, especially me in my late 40s when I just started receiving love, it
Mhm.
wasn't easy. It was a breaker. And I remember I cried like a baby. I cried. It was a weird feeling. It was a freedom, and it was weird at the same time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's how men should act, how men should feel, real men. But I think that spouse should reach out maybe to him, sit, maybe get in touch with somebody who can help him, get their advice, how they can approach it. That's what I would do. I'm thinking what would do to me. What would Heather, that's what Heather did. Heather took the approach. She signed me up for the Men of War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My friends are like, is she trying to kill you? Why would she
What is
sign
that
you up
like,
for
though?
that?
What
What?
is that? What is that? You want to explain what the Man of War is? What was that?
It tests your limits. It breaks you. It breaks you to your breaking point, and it gets you to the point where most men today, they talk about how most men today are watered down. They're little whiny little bitches, and they are. Most of them are. I got a lot of friends that drive me crazy. I can't even stand being around them sometimes. It teaches you to get to the breaking point and to show you there's more left in the tank. And I was there, and I know I had plenty more in the tank. And it broke me here with the receiving love. How God broke me on my last day there. I still know how to receive love, right? Even though I was pushing, I was there, I was getting through I got through the program. I finished the program. But my last day, God's like, I need to step this game up. I know what he did. I know this is God. I got sick. I had a fever on my last day. And it was the longest day ever. Like, not just here. It was the longest day, from 7 a.m. until 1, 2 o'clock a.m. all day. I started to get
Wow.
sick around noon. But here's the kicker. I didn't understand. I was like, damn, I got sick. So I didn't think about what God was doing, or I just got sick from being in this dirty, muddy water.
Mhm.
I get home, I lay on the couch, and I'm talking to Heather about what happened. It was tough. It was tough. Trust me, I wanted to quit a lot, but I didn't.
Right
Yeah.
now, this moment, I'm sorry to interrupt you, where you feel that emotion and you want to let it out, you cry, and you can cry it. And I think it's the healthiest thing to do for a man to cry. I
Yeah.
think society pushes so much against that. Men should never cry. Men should never do that. That's not a manly thing to do.
No.
In your experience, though, what is the difference? Where is the line between feeling vulnerable and allowing yourself to feel what you're
Yeah.
feeling without crossing over being whiny?
I'm getting to that right now. When I was telling Heather a story on the couch, I didn't know the men broke me in a good way. When I was sick, they kept checking on me, loving on me, checking my temperature. Are you okay? Hey, let's carrying me. They were carrying me because I couldn't walk. I was so
You were
fatigued. And
beat up.
I kept saying, God, what's wrong with me? My legs wouldn't stand. I had one of
Oh,
the
come on.
instructors screaming at me, stand up. And I'm like shaking. And I remember how weak I was, just fatigue and sick. My head was pounding. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And that whole day, before that night came, the final test, when I was full-blown sick, it was bad. I thought I was gonna end up in the hospital. Thank God I didn't want pneumonia. That whole day, I'm talking to you like I was talking to Heather, not knowing what she told me. They loved on me. They checked on me. They gave me medicine. They hey, do you want me to wash your boots out for you? Do you want me to clean your shirt? That's something that my dad took from me, and I didn't know how to get it back. You know, when those men were doing that, I didn't realize I wasn't awkward. I received it. After day one, the beating we took together, we were brothers. We were a team. We were brothers. And by the fourth day, it was like I was in love with these guys. So when I told Heather that story, how they were loving on me, taking care of me, and nurturing me, and when we got back in the van, it was a 2-hour drive from the ocean. Ocean was a nightmare at 2 and 1 in the morning. I already have PTSD of water. That wasn't easy. So I get back. We finished. We graduated. 2-hour drive back. I'm sick as a dog. I can't walk. I'm walking, but I wanted to just lay down. And they were carrying me, and I was walking. That's how bad it was. And I remember these guys, they weren't doing it because they had to do it. They wanted to do it. I still talk to them on WhatsApp. And after I told Heather the story, she goes, wow, you learned how to receive love. Wow.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't think about that. She said that, and I was like, wow, I know how to receive love. And that day, me and my Heather's relationship, billion times better. I know when she's loving on me, I know it's love. I know it's not, she needs something or she wants something. So that program shoved my father's curse up his ass. And now I know as a man how to receive love from other men too, not just with men, everybody. My nieces, my nephews, my mom. So it feels good. So that's broken. 47 years old before that happened.
Wow.
And yeah, so that program that she put me in, I know that was God on her heart. That's how he's going to get me. How else is the Lord going to get me broken with men? You know what I mean? I'm stubborn as fuck. I'm going to kick the shit out of me for a few days, and then get me when I'm vulnerable and sick as a dog, where now these men were leaning on me the first couple of days, and now I needed them. And I was like, I don't need anybody, because I don't need anybody. That was my attitude. I got this. I'm going to help these guys. I'm going to carry these guys. I'm going to be a leader. And it came that day, they were dragging my ass through the sand, through the mud, through the water, carrying me. It was very humbling, a lot of humility. And so that program is a blessing. And I definitely recommend it to any man that wants to toughen up for sure. You're going to toughen the fuck up and finish it, but you're definitely going to break some chains. It's not just about finishing, man, with that for me. I broke chains that my father locked onto me.
Yeah. It was a lot of facing a lot of realities, I would imagine. Because you're right. He took that from you, that brotherhood, that image of a man taking care of another man. As a child, you never had that. All you had for him was hurt, was abuse. You
Oh,
never
yeah.
had him check on you when you were sick as a child.
No,
You
I
never
take
had
care of
him.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom, too, he took nurturing from her. She never nurtured me. I never had been nurtured my entire life.
Well, it sounds to me like all of you were in survival mode.
Yeah.
24/7.
24/7 survival mode. That's all it was in that house.
That's
It was a night.
terrible.
It was,
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're out of it, and I'm glad
oh,
you're able
yeah.
to receive love now. You certainly are loved, and by many. And that's the thing, that's the thing. Narcissists hurt people and they don't feel guilty.
They don't feel nothing.
They feel justified. I did
Like,
this because this happened, right? And a trauma survivor feels guilt. Did you feel guilty when you abused your partners when
my
you were?
God. As
That's
soon
the
as I
difference.
calmed down, I felt like a piece of shit.
Right.
And I always look back. My dad's can't stand him. And I blamed him for a long time. And then as I got older, I was like, I need to start taking responsibility for my own actions. But I didn't know how to.
Right.
I didn't know who to go to.
Right.
Who do I talk to? Where do I go? I don't know. So I started doing drugs and alcohol. Alcohol is the only thing that I got to hide from it.
It made you forget momentarily about your pain.
Oh, yeah.
Trauma survivors feel guilt and shame, right? And if you don't know how to deal with it, then you're going to find something that is going to mute it, that's going to numb it.
Hide from reality.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you shut down more because of that, rather than because you're narcissistic. One withdraws to punish, the other one withdraws to because they're scared. They don't know what to do with it.
Yep.
That those feelings, those emotions. Like you said, what is wrong with me? Why can I? Why I don't like this girl
We
hugging
saw.
me, cuddling me? Right? It's
Yeah, it was
scary.
it was weird. It was weird. It was always a weird, uncomfortable feeling, but that was taken from me as a
Right.
child.
Well, you see, that's the difference. I think this is why a lot of people who know you don't think you're narcissistic because you're willing to reflect on your actions. You were willing to become a better person. That is taking accountability. Like you said, you blamed your dad for a long time for everything, and don't get me wrong, I blame your dad too. There's this just you're very strong for forgiving him.
I don't only forgive him. I don't only forgive him. I hope that he turns his life over to Christ and he ends up in heaven too. Because what did he go through as a child? He didn't break the chain. I broke the chain. He wasn't strong enough to do it. And I seen that side of the family. Well, they're nice people, my cousins, but my grandfather, I remember him always being angry. And my grandmother, she's a sweetheart. But I remember my grandfather was married me, so I don't know what happened there. He probably beat the shit out of him all the time. I have no clue. I don't know.
All these subjects makes me think about my childhood and my mother's childhood and my dad's. They're both gone now. I can't ask them questions anymore. But I was so lucky that I get to see my dad. I got to see my dad before he passed last year, and it was a good thing to have some conversations with him where I
Yeah.
understood a lot more. He was definitely misunderstood and traumatized about different things in his life.
Yeah.
And he was from a generation where men is supposed to be men. You don't talk about it, you don't cry about it, you just move on.
Yep, that's how. Yeah, yeah.
Right. And my dad, he wasn't an abusive guy. Uh Not to us, remember him being abusive. He would definitely lose control and spank us and, that sort of thing. But I'm not gonna lie, we were not angels. We did crazy things growing up, and then he went to prison for a while, my dad. And
Oh,
and
wow.
and we didn't know anything about him for a long time. And see, I didn't know he was in prison. And I thought he just left. And I hated him for a while. And so there was a lot of misunderstanding with him, and I'm just glad that I was able to talk to him before he passed. And then even it brought clarity as to a lot of behaviors on my mother as well. Because she also my grandparents from her side were very nice people. They were kind, they were super poor. But I tell you what, one thing my grandpa did every single day, he came over to our house without a fail. Every single day in the morning, he was there to check on us.
Nice.
So see, it's interesting how certain things play out. They were not abusive people. And so I don't come from an abusive home. Makes you wonder the kind of person that I chose in my life, to be the father of my children and
Yeah, but you're not at all bad person at all.
I'm not.
We all make dumb decisions. I'm sure you've done bad things.
No, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of people think we choose our dads. Women choose their dads to marry.
Yeah.
You know, my father a narcissist. Was he a narcissist?
I don't
Maybe he
know.
was. I have no idea.
No?
He was definitely self-centered. He was definitely always right. So I don't know if that would qualify. See, again, there's a confusion that we're talking about, and a lot of people who reached out, is that narcissism or not? Someone who wants to
Yeah.
be right all the time and it doesn't go with other traits, other behaviors. Is it narcissism? I don't know. Do you think people like you can change if they're truly aware? Do you think they just stay stuck?
Like I just said, I know they can change if they really want to. Some people probably can't. Like, they probably love who they are, so they're not going to change. They need consequences. But for me, in my case, I wanted to change. I didn't know how. And that person reaching out to me that day when I was laying on the floor in my friend's house, and they said so-and-so was on the phone. I didn't speak to in 9 months, and I get on the phone. And I only know it was 9 months because when I got on the phone, they said, hi. I said, hey. And they said, how are you? I was like, I'm good, but I wasn't. Just get done smoking crack the night before, drinking alcohol all night. No, I'm not good. But I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Trying to play the tough guy. I'm 9 months clean. I didn't believe that for a second, but she sounded amazing. Person did more drugs than I did.
Oh boy.
How's this person 9 months clean? That's a long time when you can't get 10 minutes. And then one thing led to another. I went to my AA meeting, and I met, his name is Sam. I'll say his name's Sam Sproul. He's from Pennsylvania. He's a huge, I talked to him yesterday. I still talk to him. He's got over 20 some years clean now. He had 9 months clean at the time when I met him. He started sponsoring me. He took me in. He fed me. I worked for him. He paid me, but he fed me. He gave me cigarettes. I smoked a lot then. I paid for my cigarettes, for my food. We went to like 2-3 meetings a day. Every time we took a break at work, we go do a meeting. And I'll never forget that. He is the first person in my life, sober, that showed me how to love somebody or care about, not love, care, because I didn't look at it as love. I looked at, he actually cares about me. Or maybe he cares about because it's helping him, helping me. We're like brother. He's my brother. He is my brother. I love him to death. And I watched him help hundreds and hundreds of kids, men and women, feed them when he was broke. Same shit I did. Give his shirt off his back.
Right.
And then you hear people bashing him. And I'm like, I'm going to punch them right in the face. But I know that's how God wants me to do. It's like, he's just a good-hearted man. And that's how I learned watching him how to do early sobriety with newcomers. And I do that today, but they're so fucking spoiled today. If I'm going to do that, you got to pay me. Man, I was doing work. We call it, I'm going to brain for it. Like giving back. I was doing it for free. I mean, not that I wanted to, but I knew it was keeping me sober. Kids today, they want to get paid for everything they do, paid for their time. That's not how it works. You're in recovery. So that doesn't matter. That's another subject. But yes, Sam was a big and still is a big part of my life.
Wow. So the brokenness in him saw your brokenness and wanted to avoid that. Because see, that's the thing. When we are broken, and if you are empathetic enough, you don't want someone else to feel the way you do. And you're going to do whatever it takes to help someone to not ever feel that way. That's how I feel.
He introduced me to Christianity too.
You can identify
Yeah.
certain your pain with other people. You can see it. Sometimes people don't know what to do with that pain. Like Stevie said, for some people, the only way out is taking your life. For some people, the only way out is doing drugs. For some people, the only way out is hurting other people, turning abusive, like your dad. You're right. Maybe he had a horrible, horrible childhood. And instead of saying, I don't want this for my children, he became his past. He became the abuser.
Yep.
And see, maybe not everyone who hurt you was a narcissist. Somewhere unhealed, somewhere scared, some didn't know how to love, even if they wanted to. It still hurt, but knowing the difference can help us heal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any last comments?
No, just if anybody needs to reach out, hit us up. If you don't want your name showed on there, find us on Facebook or Instagram. Our names are right here on the side. Privately message us and we'll keep in the down low. No, we don't talk. It stays between us. If there's any females, reach out to Liz. And if she has any questions, she'll ask me. If there's any men, reach out to me. And let's get to the bottom of this.
Yes. Actually, I forgot to post the resources on our last video, but I will do that tonight, and I will add some information there. People who need a group to join to get some help, you can certainly join JC Center. And there's other resources that we will share with you guys. And if today's episode helped you see something more clearly, stay close. We're not here to label people. We speak from experience. We care. This space is for you too. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us or all platforms, not just social media. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Music. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here, joining the conversation.
Day, guys.
Jay, thank you for opening up. Thank you for being vulnerable in this space.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for us doing this.
All righty. See you next time, guys.
See you guys.